What if just $8 a day can start funding your dream golf lifestyle with passive income? In this video, I'm going to show you how our group teaches people like yourself to start investing in cash flow so that you never have to worry about paying for green fees or clubs or shoes or whatever you want to do with your golf day ever again. So without further ado, let's jump into the computer. So this is what our process looks like overall. And it's just going to be a quick video. This is kind of just explaining uh, just the overview of the holistic approach we take financially. So first things first is we invest for cash flow in high yield dividend funds. So cash flow is the name of the game. I mean, you probably heard this before that cash is trash, cash flow is king. So I believe that the easiest way to create cash flow, you could do it a lot of different ways. You can own a business, you can invest in real estate. All that is difficult because I've done both of those. But I think the lowest hanging fruit that anyone can get started today or tomorrow is to invest in dividend producing ETFs and stocks within the market. So what we do for the beginner is we have them invest just $7 to $8 a day into the high yield dividend stuff. Now that may not seem like a lot at first, but we also believe that daily habits compound, and we kind of have that's our whole philosophy is doing the small stuff on a daily basis. And we do this with fitness stuff. I'm actually in the process of getting certified as a TPI fitness golf instructor or whatever you want to call it. But it is the official certification for golf fitness. But so we do the daily stuff in the fitness space right now. But as it relates to the financial side of things, we believe in the daily habits compounding over the long term. So the first step, and you'd be on this step for a decent amount of time because it takes time to build this stuff up, but it is to create cash flow via the high yield dividend stuff. Now, when you have all that cash flow eventually built up, a lot of people get hung up on like, that's it. You're just in high yield dividends and you don't get any growth, blah, blah, blah. You see that in the haters in the high cash flow dividend stuff. But we take it two steps further, and that is to put obviously the cash flow back into more cash flow. That's where the compounding comes in. But then we also start investing into deflationary assets that are opposite of the declining US dollar. So it's no secret that the US is in 38 plus trillion dollars of debt, and the dollar has declined like 99% or whatever it is since 1913 when the Fed was created. So storing your money in dollars is a losing game. And anyone that is into personal finance knows that because a lot of people talk about that fact. But what we do is we take a portion of the cash flow that we are generating and we put it into stuff that is fixed supply and deflationary. And really, there's no better asset over the last 10 years than things like Bitcoin, XRP, Litecoin. All of these have fixed supplies, whereas the US dollar, they can print it in, like into the stratosphere. There's no end to how much money they can print. But things like Bitcoin have a fixed supply, and with that comes growth into the future. If you know anything about Bitcoin, you know how 95% of the supply has already been mined, and there are nation states now and big time companies that are buying it. So that is only going to drive the price up over time. So step one, create the cash flow, reinvest the cash flow. Once that gets big enough, then you start putting it into growth via deflationary assets. Then the fourth step is to start protecting your money with life insurance. Now, this is also controversial. A lot of people like Dave Ramsey do not like this, but if you know how infinite banking works via whole life insurance, that is what we focus on, whole life, not UIL or any of that stuff. We focused on whole life for a number of reasons, but we start putting money into life insurance that locks in your wealth, grows tax free, and it really becomes a family bank. So that is the overall process. We start here, and then eventually you get going with steps 3 and 4, and you really start to build something that can start to really compound over time. I guess the ultimate goal is to start leveraging your deflationary assets and your life insurance. You start borrowing against that stuff tax free and putting it back in to make the cash flow bigger and to make the whole system bigger. So the goal is to fund your golf lifestyle, but this also, I mean, it can change your whole financial life. Uh, you know, it doesn't just have to be about golf, but that's what we focus on. That's what I like to do is golf. So I want to do it as much as possible. I want to work less, golf more, and we do it with this system. So if you want to learn more, we have a Skool group. I'll leave the link below in the bio. You can join that for free. The first 50 people to join is going to be free. We're going to teach you all this stuff, how to do it. And if you want to grab a free PDF that lays this stuff out a little bit more, the link is going to be down in the bio. But we'd love to have you join us in Skool, and let's change our financial futures together.